Sally from Parawan. So I'm here to help people come back to, well, get through these times of chaos, cataclysms and confusion, to come back to the peace of oneness and be one with themselves, each other and the planet, and find peace in their hearts. So today I just want to talk about the twin flame experience and the synchronicities and numbers and what it means for the ascension process. Okay, so when you're driving along, when you go through this experience of going through the veil, you see numbers, and of course people in the Western world will think that if you say something like this, oh, I see repeated numbers on license plates, that you're some kind of mad person, because that's what Western world psychiatrists and, you know, logical thinkers have been conditioned to think and believe in, so that as a Western world run by globalists, we are encouraged not to go through this spiritual awakening and to doubt ourselves and to have fear around it, when actually it's a very natural process of becoming one with spirit. And all indigenous people are or have been one with spirit, but because we have this system of conditioning in the Western world, where we go through school, university, institutions, work, it's drummed out of us basically. When we were a child, we kind of knew that the air and the trees spoke to us and the water spoke to us, you know, and we were very in touch with our playful creativity and our intuition. And I'm just looking at a couple of minions here thinking, yeah, and that's exactly the vibe. That's exactly the vibe. It's just like fun, it's like open-hearted, it's like curious. And when you're in that vibration as an adult and you start seeking truth through the pure spirit of light and love, you come to a place where you start seeing the world in a completely different way. And then things appear and manifest to you, like these synchronicities, which are speeding up now in this time of this process of ascension and fifth dimensional light and energies coming through our system and our consciousness. Now it's individual. We have an individual consciousness, and we go through this simulation like a game. And well, you might be wondering, if this is me having an experience looking at the number plates and seeing things that other people aren't seeing or noticing, then that's freaky. Well, yes, and the reason is because you're in a simulated game and you are the player at the moment going through the game, and all people around you are projections of you. And sometimes it can be animals as well that are projecting our own truths. So a broken animal, you know, or an animal that's got a illness, let's say it's got a poorly leg or something, will also be showing you yourself as in your inability to stand up for yourself, for example, or your safety and security is not being met. You know, your needs for safety and security are not being met. So every physical problem has a spiritual meaning. If you look at the work from Dr. What's her name? This is where my mental I'll remember in a minute. So she's basically written entire books about this. She's very in touch with spirit and has and understands the body and the way it gives us messages. So I know I've gone a bit off course here, but the point is that the game will show us signs and synchronicities and give us messages to tell us what it is we need to know. And when we go through ascension, it's shouting at us really loud and waking us up so that we understand the truth, which is that we're in a simulation. And this is your simulation. It's a simulated game where everybody and everything is a projection of you as you're going through the game, to show you where you are, what you need to heal, to come closer to your soul, which is love. And the wonderful thing is that everything you leave behind, such as YouTube videos, books, films, whatever it is that you leave behind, are picked up by the people coming behind you in the simulation. And the idea is that we're supposed to all get through the ascension process, and consciousness is rising in a way that as expansion. So as one person has an epiphany, then all the other people following behind are also in the game, are also having those epiphanies, but they're also having using the material that you leave. And so that's how the ascension process works. It's like we're all avatars on the platform, on the third dimensional platform, playing the game, but we're not all necessarily here at the same time, because everyone else on this stage is a projection of you. There is no way that this simulation, although you are there and you are real, there's no way this simulation can be the way that we perceive it, which is that it is all happening at the same time, because it simply is not happening at the same time. Because there is no time. There is just this virtual reality prison planet game or story that we're running. This particular time is called End of Times game, and people are ascending using other people's material, which can be, as I said, films, paintings, books, YouTube videos, anything that's creative and explores new ground to expand the consciousness, and so that human consciousness is expanding and ascending as one, but not all together at the same time. Oh my goodness, what an epiphany. So every time my mind blows like this and I get epiphanies, I see numbers on number plates. Okay, so at the beginning of this awakening, it was number 1111, and that was like saying, yeah, you're at number 1 on the level. And then for me, that was about awakening, waking up to the 1. And that's why my group's page was called The Power of One. But I kind of disbanded it and lost it a bit because, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my hair, I don't like it. So I'm still not there, right? I'm still not at point 0. I love myself. Point 0 is the field where you're just observing. There's no criticism, there's no judgment, there's just love. And there just is, and it doesn't matter. Anything can come in and go out and wash through, and it's fine. I did actually reach point 0 once when I was making a video about Socrates, and that, for me, I was in my element that day, because things were, well, anyway, I was really lifted that day, and I had an epiphany about Socrates. Oh gosh, you see, I just go off on these tangents, but it all comes back to the one thing, let it flow. So here we go. So Socrates is about, he knew as a Greek philosopher that none of this was real, that he tried to explain to his students by asking them questions, which is what I'm supposed to do, ask people questions rather than tell them the truth. But I can't help it, this is who I am, I'm showing up in the way I am, perfect the way I am already, and completely accepted by God. So Socrates would ask people questions so that they would do their own expansion and questioning, right? And maybe I'll get to that point, maybe we all will, but right now we're searching through and still using our mental mind and our ego to try and come to some sense of what we're going through, and to tell other people our truth, which is ego, because, you know, there is no ultimate truth. Everyone's truth is their own truth. I need to express mine because I need to. So just let it go, all right? Let's take what resonates and let the rest go. So with Socrates, he was so attached to, or he's so not attached to the idea, but he had a knowing, knew so well and firmly that we were living in a simulation, that he was willing to, and this is his contribution to this ascension process, he was willing to drink the poison. He was willing to die because he knew that death wasn't real. Because he knew that we're just spirits in a material world, that we are just consciousness, that we are having a physical experience and we're multi-dimensional beings of light, and that when we die of this avatar body, we just simply slip out, and we are still got our mind and our soul and our, you know, we just can't breathe and the heart doesn't beat, you know. But we are consciousness, we are just awareness, that's literally all we are. We don't actually have a heartbeat for real, we are just an experience of an awareness, that's all. We are just sight, sound, taste, touch and smell. And then we have our other extrasensory perception, which is the ability to have intuition, clairvoyance, clairaudience, so you can actually hear, and when you get connected to the mainframe, the computer console, if you like, you can hear that as well, you can see visions, and you have dreams, and you have a knowing and a feeling about everything. And this is where we're going in consciousness, remembering where we came from, and we're remembering our higher senses and who we truly are above all of this experience that we see and feel, hear, taste, touch and smell. So one moment. So numbers on the number plates show us where we are in the game. Simple as that. As I said, I got to 0 point when I was talking about, I bet you can't hear me, when I was talking to about Socrates. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to hear me very well. So I'm going to just finish this video. It's going to be a really quick one because it's really, really loud. By saying, when you wake up to the number 1, it's like the awakening code to tell you that there is only one, and it's the power of one, which one and all is one, right? And then there's 222, which tells you you've got a twin flame in a relationship with someone else, your twin, which is to do with the person on the other side of the game who is you and comes into the game as a projection of you to show you yourself. That's the wake up to that. 3 is the divine, so then you wake up to the Christ, and your twin leads you to the Christ because it leads you into your heart, it leads you to the higher angels and guides, because you have to, because you get down on your knees and say, my God, this is so difficult, please help me with this, please cut the binds and the ties to this person, this is so painful. And then that's where you get your Christ awakening. 4 is the foundation, it's the home, and so you come home to yourself, you come home to your soul. 5 is the change, where your realization is that, oh my goodness, that's it, I found it, I figured it out, I found my home, now I start changing. My soul starts to make that transformation, bringing all the pieces of myself back together to become whole. And then 6 is the darkness. 6 is the darkness, where you have to go through all the spiritual warfare and sit through the physical, mental torture, the emotional upheaval of all your dark side. And that's it's like, I think the 6th dimension is like that. I know the 4th dimension is like that, but I think that's what 6 is. And it relates to everything that we have to clear out. If we know our home, we've seen Christ, we know who our twin is, we understand that we're the one, but 6 is the darkness that we have to get through before we get to 7, which is heaven. And when we've cleared all the darkness, we get to 7, which is heaven. 8 is infinity, so we know we're an infinite being of light, and that nothing is real, in this sense that this is only an experience. And then 999 is completion. So you completed the game, you're there, you've made it, you've done. 0 point is where nothing matters. You've reached it, nothing matters, you're ready to give up your life because you know. How amazing. I really hope you can hear me. You know that none of this is real, you're willing to walk away. I really hope you can hear me. I should have put earphones in. This is... I really hope you can hear me. Love, truth, I don't know, I need to summarize. Yeah, so don't listen to the naysayers. Take what you will from this video. This has been a crazy ride. I've loved it, I've hated it, I've purged it, I've embraced it. I'm not attached to it anymore. Well, I am still attached to it a little bit. I'm not saying that I'm there right now, but I'm going to be there soon. And we're going to be prepared for what's coming, and we're going to have to prepare others. So you're doing really well. Stick with it, whatever you're doing. Take on what you will from what I said, but remember to keep reaching for those. No, don't reach for the epiphanies. Relax and know that it's all coming to you in perfect timing, because God is the one, and he orchestrates all of this, and we're here for an experience. We chose to come. This is our game. We should love it. Playful out. All right. Love, truth, light is all. Take care. Bye. Hey, so I'm just finishing off this video by saying that after I turned that off, I was driving along the motorway a little bit, and a very young driver to my left pulled across straight in front of me, and well, just there right next to me, and obviously didn't see me, just went, you know that thing when a car just, and normally you just pull to the side, but I was kind of, it all happened so quickly, obviously, because I'm on the motorway. And so I just yanked the wheel, put the brakes on, and well, my point is, when you realize that, and you've reached 0 point, and you're like Socrates, and you understand that at any point you need to come out of the game. That's what you need to do. You found your twin flame. It's on the outside of the game. The whole point of the Ascension is to remember that we're a planet or a game in lockdown. We are quarantined, and we have been stuck in this karmic loop, time loop, over and over again, going around and around like a washing machine. The washing machine comes to the end, and we have to ascend out through consciousness. And so when we realize that we're only consciousness and we can get out and we lift our vibration, we lift our frequency, and we know where we're going, we're in touch with and connected to the divine, or our twin, or whoever it is on the console who's guiding us and directing us, which probably is ourselves, saying, come out of the game. The true twin. Oh my goodness, let me tell you this. I saw a article about 6G, and when 6G comes online, it says you can create a twin, a avatar, so that you can put this avatar, make this avatar go to work and do all the things whilst you sit back and have a great time. Oh, well, it makes perfect sense to me that we have just come from the future to come around to say, don't go into this game, because you forget you're in a game and you get cut off. And that's what happened. And that's what the fall of man was, the fall of consciousness. Man did something in the game to forget that he was connected to the divine God, right? To connection, to console, to source. And he's been running around as an avatar with no purpose, no direction, no guidance, right? So we've got to get back to our guidance. That's the thing. Guidance is love, because we love ourselves so much. We are that divine light, that love. We are light because we are literally rays of the rainbow in a hologram. So my point was that I could have died. I could have got out of the game right then, just after I made that video saying about Socrates and how he drank the poison to get out of the game. Now, I'm not suggesting people commit suicide, because I don't think that's the way. Although, you know, those people do commit harikari, and the Islamists do obviously, you know, blow themselves up. But, you know, and if you're, presumably, if you're in a state of enlightened consciousness, then you're going to go to a higher plane. Right? But if you do it suicide when you're feeling miserable, you're going to go to a miserable plane, because you're going to go to the level where your vibration and frequency is resonating. So where your soul is, like my soul is all pieces are put back together and I'm in love and I'm in oneness, I'm going to go to 0 point, which is back to heaven. Wow. But I'm not suggesting we do that. Don't commit harikari. Don't kill yourself. I could have died then. Maybe we can plan our death. I heard Sadhguru talk about his wife, the fact that she took all her rings off, put them beside the bed, and just said to him, right, I'm going now, and just went. And she made a decision to leave. How do you do that? I haven't figured that one out yet, but I'd rather do that than like just lie and go in my sleep, rather than create some kind of accident on the motor. Not that it was my fault, but yeah, my kind of car went to the right, then to the left, and then to the right, and I was like, oh my God. So, and then I'm thinking, oh my goodness, the effect that would have on other people. My dad's just lost his wife and my mum, and yeah. And then I thought, he's not real. Because we're in a game. He wouldn't like that. He wouldn't like me to say that, and he wouldn't like me, and he wouldn't want to watch this. But you know, sometimes people can't see their own genius prodigies. They see like people who've passed on, and they think, oh, and this is the same for everyone. When somebody dies, you think, oh, how brilliant that person was, how amazing they were, what a light, they did so much for the world, they amazing, did so much, turned their hand to anything, they could do anything, they were so good, friendly with people, real joy to be with. Oh, they were so lovely. What a lovely person. That's standing at their grave, giving them flowers. Then they're dead, you know, they're at the game. They're probably up there looking down thinking, yeah, I was. Why didn't you tell me when I was alive? So my point is, appreciate people. Look around you and say, yeah, you can have love. And you can, but it's not really the love that you're feeling. It's the lack. You know, that grief, missing someone and understanding the truth of who they were is based in grief. It's based in lack. It's like, oh, they provided me with that and now I don't have that anymore. Well, find it for yourself. That's what I would say, because we're one, we're everything. Everything is within us, and we can't get anything from outside of ourselves. Everything has to come from within. That's how we be light. That is how we are light for the world. We have to express, and you might think, well, that's not very light what you've just said. But we have to express our love and our enlightenment and our realizations and everything with truth, with love. And it's a realization, and sometimes truth isn't always like, I don't always tell you what you want to hear. I tell you what it's expansion. It's expanding to hear, you know. This is expanding to hear this point of view. And you might think, oh, but that doesn't fit right with me. That doesn't feel right. That's not a very nice thing to say. Well, so be it. But it's added something into your consciousness that you would not have thought about before. And so, yeah, you know, geniuses are not noted for their geniusness until they leave the earth. Look at Van Gogh and millions of people who've left the earth, and then people look at their works of poetry, of art, of, you know, dancing, of whatever it was that they gave. They were just invisible and died a pauper. And then all of a sudden everybody realizes. I mean, I guess Jesus was a prime example. Everybody knows the name of Jesus, and we're programmed to dislike the name of Jesus, aren't we? That's our programming. That's part of the simulation. Part of the simulation is to find the truth and get through the programming, unlock the programming, defragment the programming, clear out the old templates, reprogram with the positive template of, yes, I am worthy. Yeah, all that my life and everything around me is just a bunch of narcissists. And I have to overcome the narcissistic template, the slavery template, because pink is annoying me, actually. I might change the colour. Yeah, so to find the love template, the true template, the truth, and the truth is love. And yeah, so anyway, I'm in jest. I'm not going to go and kill myself, don't worry. But I am thinking, how am I going to get out of the game? And how's this going to happen? I did have a vision of the Islamists coming to help us come out of the game with their great big swords. But at that time, when we have to choose either the beast system, which is the Islam religion, which is not the truth, which truth is Christ, Jesus, who came to save us, or we have to choose death. So we either choose the RFID chip or death through the Islamist way of, the Islamists will, you know, kill anyone who doesn't convert to Islam, basically. That's the Luciferian system. Not their fault, they're just playing a program in a game. So that's what I've seen in my vision. I've seen myself being in perfect peace, helping out. I mean, I don't particularly want this outcome, but Jesus told me, Sally, the longer you stay in the game, the more difficult it's going to get. And he said, it's time to come home now. It's time to come out of the game now. All you need to do, he said, you've come over the rainbow, you've defeated the Wicked Witch. Now it's time to look down at your red shoes and click your heels together and remember that there's no place like home, you know. And but I don't know how to do it. I know it's the secret, to click your red shoes together and say there's no place like home. But I'm not going to go out and buy a pair of red sparkly shoes and click my heels together and say there's no place like home, because that's not going to work, right? I mean, I might try it, but how do we get out of the game? How do we wake up? How do we wake up from this dream? She clicked her heels together and said there's no place like home. Do we just go right back into our subconscious and have that conversation with Jesus and say, right, that's it, I'm ready to come home now, you know, and then leave, you know? Do we just do that? Do we just, is that how we fall asleep and not wake up? Do we just go into that go back to heaven in our consciousness? Because I can do that any time. Well, not any time, but yeah, when I get into deep meditation, if everything's going the right way that day, I can go back and speak to God. Yeah, sure. And I could ask him, you know, and I could say, yeah, I'm ready to come out of the game. But I'm not actually, right now, I'm not ready to come out of the game, because although I know all the realizations that I've made are true, I need to integrate them until I've reached the point where I am completely 100% ready to come out of the game. And do you know what? I know I have power over that. How did Neo die in the Matrix? Let's have a think. So Neo was actually killed in the Matrix, but he knew that he wasn't in the Matrix. He knew he was the, he was only an avatar in the simulation. So he was able to, because usually before, if you died in the Matrix, you died on the outside. But now, if you die in the Matrix and you're aware that you're outside, then you can overcome the Matrix. And that's when, all you Matrix lovers out there, you'll know all the answers to these questions, but that is when you can overcome the game. That's when you go back into the Matrix and you suddenly become one with the Matrix and you overpower it, like Jesus did, I suppose. Oh my God, the revelations. Jesus is in me. Jesus is the one. Jesus is Neo. Jesus is in me. Neo, the one. You get inside people and you go and you burst out all the darkness in that person. And that's what he did. He got inside Mr. Smith and he went and he bet that was the only way he could get rid of Mr. Smith. He got inside him and he burst out from inside. I'm going to have to watch that. There's a new one coming out and it's going to have the answer in it. I know it is. But for where I am now, it looks like we have to die in the Matrix. So somebody has to kill me or I'm not dead. This is just, oh my God, people are going to be going, oh, you're talking about we're all going to be killed. But you're not real. You're not real. This is a simulation, a hologram. You are light, rays of the rainbow. Read the holographic universe. It's all to do with metaphysics. It's all to do with quantum physics. With quantum, I can access all the infinite information because I'm already up there, right? So anyway, I've been up there so many times and I know, right? So all I have to do is close my eyes, go into deep meditation and I have ascended because I've gone through this process. Stay in your heart space. You see, from a person who has not been transformed into their spiritual self, this is very, very scary information. I honestly don't believe that people who have not been transformed will have access to this information because this is how the simulation works. We only see things at the level at which we resonate. And that's why when I was at a level of going through physical transformation, I didn't know I wasn't aware of people who were going through spiritual transformation. I wasn't aware of that. I just thought, oh, that's religion. But now I'm at that stage. And now, of course, I'm always seeing higher. And that's the way the simulation works. It'll only bring you things that are at your level of consciousness. And so I don't worry about what I say anymore or put up on Facebook because or on YouTube or wherever I put it, because I know that people will not see it or hear it unless they are resonating at that level. How wonderful is that? People are protected by God. So my next step is to think, okay, I have to be really, really secure in that I am protected and loved by God. If God is for me, who can be against me? Because I see these 5G towers going up and I'm thinking, oh my God, now they're going to put RFID, they'll probably come around my house with a vaccine, say you can't come out unless you have it. And I'm not having it. And although I heard the word reversal this morning, but I need to really press in. Gosh, I've been sat here for 15 minutes and somebody's expecting me. My dad. He won't see this video. So, he'll probably come at me now, I saw your video. Anyway, so, yeah, man, mind explosion. I'll probably see 000 again. Living that with you, because as I explode with light, it goes into the consciousness, but I'm also leaving it here just because everything I have gone through, I have recorded either by audio or video or journal, and all of that information is taken to the higher realms. I had my external hard drive stolen, but God told me he's taken it and he will give it to me back. And I believe he'll give it to me back when I get to the other side. And I believe that's for the new earth, to help people come through their darkness, because I kept video and audio about my process of physical, mental, emotional transformation. And he's only allowed me to keep the stuff regarding my spiritual transformation. which is where I'm at. So I think he just wanted me to focus on that and concentrate on that rather than go back to all the stuff about empowerment. He didn't want me to do personal training because I was going to put my personal training stuff online, but I don't think he wanted me to, because it's all on that hard drive. I don't think he wanted me to do anything about positive mindset and you know, all of that stuff that I was working on, or that's going to be part of it. I don't think he wanted me to do that. He wants me to be an Ascension coach, or if I get that far, but just to share what's happened is I've sharing my experience of Ascension. It's just what happened. I can't literally get a website together to put all my information on it to become an Ascension coach. I just can't. I just feel blocked. And that's the flow, you know. You've got to go with the flow. You've got to say, okay, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what I'm showing up doing. I'm not going to stop myself. I'm not going to control it. I'm just going to allow my seed to flourish. I'm going to allow what comes up to come up. This is who I am, and this is how I speak, and this is how I express myself. And those people who are supposed to hear it will hear it. And I hope it's helpful to someone. And if I stopped myself and thought, well, this is not the most effective approach, it's probably best to say, here are 10 reasons why you need to ascend on 2020. If I did that, that's great, but that's for people, but that's not me. And I'm sorry, but I can't. So everything is just as it should be. And yeah, we are divinely protected by the one. There is only one, and I cannot die. And if God is for me, who can be against me? So love, light, and truth is all. Thanks for listening. Come back anytime. Subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things that everybody says. Yeah, like, ring the bell, subscribe. And love you. Blessings over you today. Praying for the world to ascend in consciousness as we go through this game on our own, with everybody being a projection of us. And know that you're free. You are free to do what you think the best thing to do in love. Okay, that doesn't mean, well, people who listen to this won't be in lower man anyway, but it doesn't mean act in lower man and go around and be horrible to everyone just because you know the game isn't real. But be loving, be kind, give your light, express yourself. Do not have any hang-ups, no shame, no fear, no guilt, nothing. Just go for it. Playful out. Love, light, and truth is all. Take care. Bye.